We are here, and I'm joined here today by, again, I say two phenomenal individuals. I guess I'm just a lack of words. I'm using multi-syllable words today for you on a Sunday morning. But with Mr. Bill or Mr. William Bryant or Sir Esquire Bryant, dollar bill for some in the community that are familiar. I saw a couple that were watching and saying, "Is this the one?" So I'm just going to get that out there. And then he is a student advocate for Lincoln Public Schools, and then Scholar Omarion Weaver, who is he is a scholar at Lincoln Public Schools and at Lincoln High School. And just again, both of them are community stakeholders. So I want to open up, Mr. Bryant. First off, thank you. I'm going to have to take a note of privilege. He is somebody who has been a mentor to many, but to myself, I've known of Mr. Bryant probably longer than I've actually known him. He's probably known of me, and probably like my mom. I know they had a connection when he worked at one of the schools, and his background is long. But I remember she probably came up to him and said, "I'm gonna have you go put your hands on that boy and take care of some things," when she came to school when I was not acting right. So, Mr. Bryant, first off, thank you for being here, and thank you for all that you do, and just tell us a little bit about who you are and your journey to get to Lincoln Public Schools.
Well, it's been a long and winding road. My formative years were spent in Alabama, first through the 8th grade. Uh, from the 9th to the 12th, I attended Boys Town High School, and after that, I came to the University of Nebraska, where I earned a BA in political science.
Awesome. Now he is a man of few words and very humble. But Mr. Bryant is a veteran. He served this country, so thank you very much for your service. I know he's been a paralegal. He is also a number one in your heart, but 95 in your program. I've looked that up. He won't share that very much, but he played for the Corn Huskers. And I don't have all the exact years, but I do have his height at 6'2". He weighs not weighed, he weighs 230 as a defensive tackle from Decatur, Alabama. So he won't say Roll Tide on here too loud because I don't want the plug pulled. Was a little nervous last night, but he's being way too modest. So and he's also an actor. And so anything you want to say about any of those things outside of the weight?
I plead the fifth.
All right, fantastic. And then we got Scholar Weaver. Scholar Weaver, you're at Lincoln High School. Tell us a little bit about yourself.
Well, I grew up in Lincoln, but I did move down to Mississippi after kindergarten, and I went there. I moved back in the middle of 3rd grade, and when I moved back, I went to Saratoga Elementary. And after Saratoga, I went to Loeffler, and I started off my high school career at Lincoln High, but I did move to Milford, which is between Crete and Seward, about 20 minutes out. But now I'm back at Lincoln High, and I couldn't be happier.
Fantastic. Glad to have both of you here. Mr. Bryan, I mentioned earlier that you're a student advocate for Lincoln Public Schools, and that's the general title. There's specific, but tell us a little bit about what a student advocate is, what you do on a day-to-day basis, and the impact that you feel like that you have on others.
Well, a student advocate is another word for liaison, but since the target population that I work with is not immigrant population, it's termed as an advocate. My primary student group that I work with is African American students. The graduation rates were lagging behind other ethnic groups, and Lincoln Public Schools decided to address that by hiring 2 advocates, the other being Shanna Letcher. And we started about 15,
yeah, that was about 15 years ago.
And to try to help improve graduation rates by acting as a liaison between the school system and students and families. We monitor grades, attendance, and any other barriers that might impede a student's progress toward graduation. But I also work with pretty much all ethnicities because of my length of time in the community. I know a lot of families who ask me to do some interventions and speak with the school system about issues they're having with their students.
And so, Bill, you talked about just, the impact that you have at the greater community. And so it's not just limited, but there's a focus on our African-American scholars. And if you look at our graduation rates, Lincoln has a very, it's admired by a lot of other communities for its graduation rates. But however, we do have populations that do not achieve at the same level as as our white students. And so I think that's also times very telling. And it's not that we have scholars that can achieve. It's making sure that we continue to have equal investment on what that looks like. And so tell us about your connection to the community. You said you're not from here. You said you were at Boys Town, but you came from Alabama. How did you gain a connection to the Lincoln community? Because you can't go anywhere, like you're LPS. Okay. And so, I think people thought you were running for superintendent and put your name, like we're having an election on November 2nd, and Mr. Bryant's name is going to show up on ballots somewhere because he's just that kind of person. So how did you gain a connection and a love for Lincoln, Nebraska?
Well, I think that the first day that I was on campus, I sought out the community center to connect with the community, since I didn't have any family within 1,000 miles. And so I decided to check and see if there were some mentoring opportunities or tutoring opportunities at the community center. I also joined a local church, which no longer exists, which was St. John's Baptist Church, where I eventually became the choir director for a time.
You always gonna pop in another job there, right there before.
And I just, I don't know. I'm a tinkerer. I like messing with cars, kind of a shade tree mechanic. So when people found out that I did that, they would ask me to look at their cars. Sometimes I was able to help them, sometimes not. And that led me to kind of a cottage industry there. I repaired appliances in my dorm room on campus, and just wherever I thought I could help people, I gave it a shot.
Fantastic. We'll have to talk about your love for music here in a little bit. I've been trying to get DP to have the Key Sweat hour all day, every day, but we just haven't quite pushed him to that point. He said he needed to talk about sports, so that was my warm-up music at Hastings, just so you know, for basketball. Omarion, for you obviously you were playing football at Lincoln High, but you do other things. Tell us about, where did you establish a love for sports and school? You said you absolutely love the school and you can't think probably of being anywhere else. So tell us about position you play, what you do in school, and just tell us a little bit about the season so far.
Well, growing up, I actually wanted to go to the NBA instead of the NFL.
Okay. Tell us your favorite NBA team. Wait,
Nuggets.
The Nuggets. We're going to have to talk, but go ahead.
I didn't realize I wanted to start playing football until actually middle school. My PE coach, who actually just reffed one of my games last week, he got me into playing football, and then I loved it ever since. And I've only been playing, I want to say, 45 years.
Wow.
4 of those have been in high school.
Okay. So tell us about, like, what do you love about sports? We heard earlier in one of the shows, they talked about communication and work ethic. Those are 2 things that, if you have that ability, you can succeed in life. Tell us, what are characteristics that make you successful, not only on the field, but also off the field?
I think I'm a leader. I like to think of our team as a brotherhood, how we're all close. We all have been playing on the same team since freshman year, so we have that chemistry.
Awesome. You said you like to think of yourself as a leader, and I think you're here today because you are a leader. And so really, really love that aspect. Tell us, what has been one of your most memorable moments so far growing up? It doesn't have to be just sports related. We talk about bigger than the score. What has been one of your most memorable moments growing up, and then just a mentor that you've had?
Probably one of my biggest moments is, I want to say, just making it this far. Most people just, especially where I come from, just don't make it this far.
Wow. That's powerful. A mentor that you had.
this guy right here. He's been with me all throughout high school, even when I moved. He's been on me, helping me all throughout. He's known my grandma for years before I was even born. Helped my mom. You know,
Wow, that's powerful. That's powerful. Mr. Bryant, share with us, maybe I always ask people, I'm big on quotes. So something that you want to share with our audience, a quote that you want to share with our audience, that would empower, educate, engage them, something that means something to you.
One of my favorite quotes is that no one can help everybody, but everyone can help somebody. Uh, I don't know. I think that my purpose for living basically is to help other people.
Mm.
Not that I don't want to help myself, but once my basic needs are met, then I start to look around for ways that I can help other people. And so, in that way, I'm not discouraged if I can't help everybody, but I at least make an effort to help somebody. So.
Wow, powerful, powerful. Appreciate it. Now, we did talk a little bit. You mentioned you were a choir director. You are a music aficionado. And so tell us what is one thing that you have in your playlist that everybody else, a song, an artist, everybody should have in their playlist that is an absolute must.
I would say Living for the Love of You by the Isley Brothers.
Oh, okay. Okay. We may have to change the show opening a little bit, Carter, here a little bit. You know what that is? Carter looking at me like, who, who Teddy Pendergrass is, Carter? Oh my goodness, we're gonna have to take another hour. You're gonna have to bump everybody back. Omar, what is it? Give me a song that's on your playlist.
this is really unexpected. But "Cool in Water" by Lee Williams. It was my grandpa's favorite song.
Ooh, okay. You gonna make the audience is gonna be looking that up. You're gonna see people driving down the street doing their thing. Cool. Okay, I like that. I like that. So as we get ready to, I know we're running a little bit short on time, but I want you all to have some final words. Omarion, why don't you go ahead and start and just share with individuals some things that you want to achieve moving forward, that you're going to achieve, and that you want people to know about you.
Well, just don't move too fast. I like the Huskers. Their quote day by day and just moving one step at a time and just believing in yourself and never giving up.
Fantastic, fantastic, Mr. Bryant.
And also, Amarian expressed an interest in becoming an educator.
See,
and I guess the main thing that I really look for is those teachable moments and looking up to see that someone that you planted seeds of positivity in, seeing them excel, because when they're successful, I feel that's an extension of me.
wow. Marion, I know, yeah, you want to be an educator. What do you want to teach? Elementary, middle, certain subject, and why do you want to be an educator?
Well, I've grew up with a lot of siblings, and I've always loved kids. Like I have a nephew now, I love him to death, and so I want to do maybe elementary, maybe middle, but if it comes, I can teach anything.
So LPS I'm about to slide a piece of paper over here and have you sign on the dotted line. Don't look at all the type and all the writing. We're gonna go ahead and make sure that you're in a classroom. Would love to see an education wherever, like I said, Lincoln or a surrounding area, just in this country, because definitely people have made an impact on you, like you said, Mr. Bryant. But I know with your presence and being in here today, you can make an impact on others. Want to thank everybody for listening today. We've had just a tremendous show with individuals, Scholar Weaver, Scholar Jasmine, with Mr. Bill Bryant, Mr. William Bryant, and Miss Erica Kirkland. My name's Pete Ferguson. This is Bigger Than the Final Score, and I just want to leave you with this quote, and it's from Mr. Bryant. It's something that's always stuck with me. It said, "Every person is at risk of you not giving them a chance." And so that is something that has always stuck with me from my time with him. And so make sure you have a choice. You have the opportunity to make a choice and to give everybody a chance. And so do that between now and the next 7 days that we get to reconnect. So everybody have a good week, and thanks for joining us on Bigger Than the Score.